Greetings and salutations, my operators, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time, we were investigating the home of one Natsume Soseki Natsume. He's renting a room, or I guess a floor? No, a room. His room is like the entirety of one floor, apparently. I don't know how these houses work. From Garrett. I'm one Mr. Garrett. We didn't really learn anything other than the fact that when Mr. Natsume found the victim, he dropped all his books on the floor and then ran home, and then Herlock found the books scattered across the floor and traced it back to the bookshop, which is traced it back to him. So that was easy mystery. Also, he lives literally 10 steps away from where the scene of the crime took place. So yeah, he did not have a ghost of a chance getting out of that one. Alright. Oh, forgot to do something on OBS. Boop, 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 boop. Now let's see if I can remember any voices. It's these gosh long winter nights, you know. Nothing to do but read in front of the fire. Luckily, there's a jolly good secondhand bookshop just around the corner. Buy all my old novels there. And in the pages of one particular novel, you discovered some rather illicit material, for which your wife admonished you harshly, it seems. I don't know about the admonish. Demolish might be rather closer to the mark. And beast is most certainly an out. Here we go again. And the carpet? Was that destroyed by a fire when a candle fell on the floor? Afraid to say it was. Happened in the blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bloody thing. I was caught between the old stick's rage and the raging flames. You paint a torrid picture, sir. One that would have been most entertaining. That's sympathy for you. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The bloody furniture started going up as well. We've had to hide the mess behind that screen for the time being. Over there, Miss Garrett? Well, you have nothing more to hide now, if you'll allow me. Oh. Had all my favorite novels in that case. But as soon as the fire got a hold of them, that was it. Whoosh! Up in smoke. Gosh. Then the wife started hurling things at me. What a terrible sight it must have been. There was I, backed up against the window, under heavy enemy fire, and sundry books coming 10 to a dozen. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite book called The Lion's Pride. The Lion's Pride? Ah, yes. Your notorious love of big cats coming through again. I assure you, the title didn't influence my choice in the slightest. So the poor man really did lose something dear to him as a result of the ferocious beast's rampage. Mr. Sholmes' deductions turned out to be correct once again. It can only be described as a great British wonder. I tell you, it was total carnage, flames everywhere, and the old stick in full fiddle. Out of interest, what time of day was that? Not sure I can remember. It was 2 days ago now. Let's see, around 5 o'clock, I think. So, at exactly the same time, as a terrifying incident was unfolding outside your window on the street below. Even more terrifying on the inside, I can assure you. The whole Blighty could have been flattened outside my window at that moment. And I wouldn't have noticed a dash thing. Oh, really? Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. What can I do for you? Well, I think we've got to the bottom of Mr. Garridib's situation now. But what does it have to do with Mr. Natsumi's circumstances? I can't help you there, I'm afraid. What? My dear fellow, if you recall, I did say as much from the outset. I warned you that although I knew the retired army man to be hiding something, I could not be sure whether his secret would prove to be of relevance or not. I just knew you were going to say that! Ah! Ha 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 ha! Now, Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't lose heart. Bear in mind that all things fall into one of only two categories. Those relevant to the case, and those not. That makes no sense to me. Well, no matter. It is of far greater importance that you make up your mind now. Sorry? Visiting hours at the prison will soon be over. Oh no. Is it that time already? If we're to accept Mr. Natsumi's case, we have official paperwork to attend to. So that's it. No more time to think. Perhaps you would like to betake yourselves to bidding us farewell now? I must prepare supper for Mr. Garridib. Oh yes. I'm so sorry. Thank you both very much for your time. Susaki-san will be waiting for us. And I'm going to have to give him an answer. What? 19th February. Briar Road. It's time, Mr. Naruhodo. We must hurry back to the prison. Yes, I know. Let's hail a kit. Oh. What's the matter? It looks like something's going on over there in front of the Garridib's house. William Robbins. Huh. I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. Who are you calling old man, you rum-looking ninny-pimmy? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt well, there are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. Who's this Horatio fella, eh? What are you on about? Excuse me. Eh? What the? Who are you now? I'm sorry. It just looked as though there might be some problem here. And my associate here, Mr. Rinosuke Naruhodo, is a lawyer, you see. Eh? A lawyer? What? If I can be of any assistance, I'd be happy to help. I'm from Japan, but I have studied English law. Fine. I'll be on my way for today. But you mark my words. This ain't over yet! Get thee to a nunnery. Do I look like a bloomin' nun to you? I gave him like 3 accents. I have no idea what's going on.
I do hope you're not injured.
Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so gentle. Thank you.
What was that all about?
There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy.
I'm not Horatio either.
Forgive the inquiry, sir, but are you a lodger here? In the Garrett residence?
Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so right. Yes, I do dwell in this humble abode.
Mr. Garrett mentioned that he had another lodger, didn't he? This must be the man. Do you happen to know the other lodger who lives on the first floor?
Ah, yes, a gentleman named Natsume. Oh, more worthy of a polemus in my battle of words, ne'er could there be.
Sorry? Battle, did you say?
Who is stronger, Hamlet or Macbeth? Mr. Natsume and I sparred long into the night.
I see.
I don't fully understand, but it seems Mr. Natsume and this gentleman are acquaintances at least.
So, fair maiden, so, good gentlemen, I can tarry here no longer. Fare thee well!
I didn't really understand him, but I think he returned to his room.
It seems he's unaware of what happened to Mr. Natsume, so he can't really help us. With Sosaki-san and that man at lodgers, the Garrett house is certainly full of eccentrics. Anyway, I'll go and find a carriage.
Yes, I'm sure Mr. Natsume is eagerly awaiting our return.
Let's hope we can get into the prison before visiting hours are over. God, what voice did I give him? I think it was like pseudo French. 19th February, 6:31 p.m. Local prison cell 9. Local prison cell 9. Did the comma.
Oh, it's you! You're here! You came! Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! I can't believe you came back! I'm so touched!
We are so sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Natsume.
Oh, no, think nothing of it. Relax. If I were a cat, I would purr with pleasure at the company of such fine compatriots. Noble, nurturing, never failing, Nipponese!
Oh, now, let's not get carried away.
Oh, I quite agree. There's nothing more reassuring than the familiarity of one's native land. On the other hand...
Oh, it's him. Whoops. I thought it was, what is it? What, bake?
It is through friendship transcending international borders that one truly appreciates the fact.
Such is my belief, at least.
Ah! Oh, it's you! The miserable, rotten spy! Herlock Sholmes!
Mr. Sholmes! What are you doing here?
I have no intention of doing anything per se. Save observing, of course. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Well, having encountered some curious reading material in that gloomful room, and having unmasked the secret identity of that eccentric pair, I decided I should drop in on my way home to see how our divested friend is faring.
Gloomful room?
At least your accommodations here offers a window, my dear fellow. In that sense, it is the superior option. Anyway, I must commend you on your taste in books. My day has been a delight, and cost me not a penny.
You! How dare you, Herlock Sholmes! I've had it. I'm through. I'm at the end of my rope. I should never have come to Great Britain. It was a terrible mistake. Haunted by spirits in those accursed lodgings, no doubt my luck will be cursed in tomorrow's trial as well. My whole life has been damned!
What are you thinking, Mr. Naruto? He mentioned that once before, didn't he? That his lodgings were cursed, I mean? And there is much truth in Mr. Mustache's words. What? Curse is a wholly appropriate description, I would say, for the man's lodgings, and indeed for tomorrow's trial. What's that supposed to mean? Cursed trial. Mr. Natsume, what did you mean by what you said just now? About the trial tomorrow being cursed?
Oh no, what? Why you look so grave? You're making me nervous. I was just getting carried away, that's all. I didn't mean anything by it.
Oh, I see. That's really agitated him.
You don't mean the trial really is cursed somehow?
Are you referring to the prosecutor? The Reaper of the Bailey?
The Reaper? Oh no, what do you mean? Please, tell me. Summarize it, succinctly, in 16 salient words.
No defendant has ever survived a trial in which the Reaper stands for the prosecution, ever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Wow, good for him.
Oh my goodness, can it really be true? It was 16 words exactly!
Yesterday, Mr. Naruto successfully defended someone against the Reaper. But then, after the trial was over, the defendant passed away in unusual circumstances. Mr. McGilden.
What?
Ah, I am impressed, Mr. Susato. You have an eye for detail. Actually, the Lord Chief Justice told us. Mr. Sholmes, surely it can't be that having failed to have the accused convicted, Lord Van Zieks killed the man himself. Oh no, he couldn't have. Surely. Ah! You have some wonderful notions. Sorry? The man isn't a mass murderer. He's a court prosecutor, my dear fellow. Oh, yes. Why, of course he is.
Of course he is. Then why are you trying to scare me?
It could be said, however, that the real truth about the man is even more terrifying than your hypothesis. What on earth do you mean by that?
Let's go into the cursed lodgings. That's more relevant, I feel.
When you said accursed lodgings before, you were referring to your room at Mr. Garridib's house, I assume? Do you mean to say you believe that place is cursed?
It's been a year now since I came to Great Britain.
Oh, yes.
But I'd only been in London a week before I started to notice strange feelings in myself.
That didn't take long then.
Everywhere I looked, there were foreign faces staring at me, laughing behind my back. I was sure people were talking about me. I started to become nervous about going outside. They were always staring at me, all the time, from dawn to dusk. So I shut myself away in my room. But even that didn't help. The fear wouldn't go away.
You must have been very lonely, having been away from your homeland for such a long time.
I had to move a number of times, most recently to that room on Briar Road. I wouldn't go now.
Yes, why did you choose there? It seems a little inconvenient.
The rent is cheap. I have so little money. It appealed to me straight away. Of course, I asked why it was so affordable. The landlord just simpered and said, "The room is cursed." Oops. He quickly tried to cover his mistake, but it was too late. So I told him, "If you have something to say, then say it. But if not, don't mention it in the first place.
Yes, well said.
But it was true. It was all true.
You mean the room really is cursed then?
Ever since I moved into that windowless hellhole, my sleep has been plagued with nightmares. I wake feeling as though I'm being choked to death. In my waking hours, people are stabbed in front of me as I walk down the street. I'm branded a killer, thrown into prison. Nobody wants to know me. Surrounded by scary, sinister spirits. If only there was someone, just one person on my side. Can no one find it in his or her heart to believe in me? Really? No one at all?
To believe. Yes. To believe. I think he's suffering from, like, carbon monoxide poisoning. The paranoia. It's like the windowless room. Kind of spelling out for me. The Reaper.
Van Zieks is a quite exceptional man. However, in London's courts of law, exceptional does not equate to winning every case without exception.
Oh, that's good.
So Suzuki-san looks like he's going to cry tears of joy.
As you are no doubt aware, in a British criminal trial, there is both a judge and a jury. The judge officiates based on the letter of the law, whilst the jury offers public opinion and common sense. It is an excellent system, whereby the defendant's guilt is considered from several points of view. However, public opinion, in particular, is somewhat easily manipulated.
Right.
Criminals, and corrupt lawyers for that matter, can use it to their advantage. By any means at their disposal, contriving evidence, calling impostors as witnesses, and so on. By such underhand means, those who would want to are able to sway the jury. Which means that even in the light of irrefutable evidence, the prosecution can fail. But it means the wrong verdict can be passed. And sadly it is from time to time, my dear madame. It is simply the reality of the situation.
And that's alright?
However, those indicted by Lord Van Zieks cannot escape justice. Their fate is sealed. Oh my. Though the education may see them leave the courtroom with their freedom, within months, they all disappear. It is most striking.
Disappear? But how?
Ah, by all manners of misfortune, sir. Perhaps they are trampled under a passing carriage. Perhaps they fall into the Thames and drown. Perhaps they are suddenly overcome by a raging fever. Or perhaps attacked by highwaymen.
Oh, no.
All examples of the reality of events here in London, I'm afraid, Mr. Naruhodo.
I knew it. I'm dead. Dodo. Done for. Doomed.
Is the dodo already extincted this time?
To believe.
Mr. Sholmes.
Ah, me, Mr. Naruhodo? Pray, what can I do for you?
It's about the case on the SS Bureau, if you recall.
The Bureau, yeah, that case. The one with the snake?
Well, yes.
At that time, I was the suspect, but you believed in me and listened to my side of the story. And you helped us to investigate. I did, didn't I? Ah, I did I? Interesting. What I want to know is, why? Why did you believe me? I see, yes. You mean... because you were a grimly dressed, shady Eastern fellow found with the victim in a locked room?
Well, if you like, yes.
I'm a little surprised that the answer requires explanation, my dear fellow. It's quite simple, really. You said I didn't do it.
But I could have been lying.
Surely you must have had your doubts.
You must have suspected me a little.
I think perhaps you have misunderstood. I neither recall believing in you, nor in that which you were telling me.
What?
You see, the only things I believe in are those I choose to believe in. What? What do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? I make up my own mind about what it is I make up my own mind about what is to be believed and what is not. If I should like to believe in something, I do. The circumstances can hang as far as I'm concerned.
But I could have betrayed your trust.
Ah ha 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 ha! In that case, I should have made an elementary error. I should have made an elementary error of judgment. Nothing more. Betrayal of trust is an overused excuse in my opinion.
Meaning?
Whether or not one should trust another is, in the final analysis, down to oneself. It is a matter of whether or not one can trust oneself.
Yes, he's right. He's right. Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
Whether or not I can believe myself. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. You're so right, Kazuma.
Well, my dear fellows, it is time we were leaving, I believe. Already? Visiting hours are over. The guard will be here shortly to escort us out. There's a restaurant near here that serves excellent trout. Would you care to join me? Oh dear, there's never enough time, is there?
Mr. Natsume? If you'd like, in the trial tomorrow, I'd be happy to represent you.
Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
As I said, I only experienced a British courtroom for the first time yesterday. And although the man I was representing was found not guilty, I lost sight of something crucial.
Something crucial?
What to believe in. The defendant, justice, or the truth. How to believe, even. But, I think I've finally worked it out. I've decided I must believe in myself above all else. To trust my instincts.
Yes, Mr. Naruhodo.
And my instincts are telling me that you, Mr. Natsume, are innocent of this crime. And it's imperative that we prove that in court.
Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
I will fight for your innocence until the bitter end, with every weapon available to me. I hope you'll permit me to represent you tomorrow.
As I said when we first met, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who will listen to me in my native tongue.
Of course, Mr. Natsume.
It would be fair to say, Mr. Naruhodo, that your mind was, in many ways, made up from the outset. You merely needed the events of today to fully realize it.
Yes, I think you're right about that. It's been a roundabout journey, I got there in the end. Dear God, even my flashbacks if you get started. Miss Susato,
Yes?
would you be willing to stand by my side tomorrow and help me in court?
Absolutely. As I said this morning, you may consider me your personal judicial assistant.
The shocking events of yesterday's trial still weigh heavily on my mind. But it's time to stop looking backwards. Kazuma believed in me, and Mr. Sholmes believes in me now too. Yeah, kinda. So it's time. Time that I learned to believe in myself. Tosaki-san has no one. He's all alone. So it's my job to help him. To fight his corner. Tomorrow, in the courtroom. With all the strength I can muster. To be continued. Trial, Part 1. 20th February, 9:23 a.m. The Old Bailey, Defendant's Antechamber. Well, I never expected this. Who would have thought we'd be back here again so soon?
We are on a study tour of Great Britain, with the intention of learning the country's legal practices, and also research the latest courtroom procedures here. We need as much court experience as possible.
Well, yes, I suppose that's true, but for a person in the dock, it may well be his or her and only time in court, and it could be life-changing. In which case, treating it as research may seem a little crass.
Oh, when you put it like that, you're quite right.
Good morning! Oh, his eyes are red. Ah, Mr. Natsume, good morning.
Oh dear, are you alright? Your eyes are terribly bloodshot.
The early bird catches the worm, as they say here in Britain.
Yes, I've heard that expression.
But I really don't want to catch a worm. So I tried desperately not to wake up early, but I was so worried I couldn't catch a wink. And now, I'm absolutely exhausted as a result.
Do all literary people take things so literally?
Thank you for putting your faith in us today, Mr. Natsume.
I wish I had 9 lives. My whole future hangs in the balance. Too terrified to tremble.
Really? Because I can feel tremors in the floor.
I can't do this. I can't take it. Although, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire,
yes?
I got a glimpse of the public gallery as I walked by the courtroom. It looked like the opening night of the opera. There were so many people. I had no idea my case was such a notorious affair here in London.
Oh, neither did I. Do you know why that might be, Miss Susato?
I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but I have no idea.
Though that all-knowing look on your face was just coincidence then, is it?
Don't hide the truth from me. It's because of the Reaper, isn't it?
Lord Van Zeeks? Is that right, Miss Susato?
I purchased as many different newspapers as I could find this morning, and yes, Lord Van Zeeks is on the front page of every one. I knew it! Sometime after the prosecutor was dubbed the Reaper of Bailey, he stopped appearing in court, it seems. It's been several years now, in fact, until the day before yesterday.
Yes, Inspector Gregson told us something similar, didn't he? The trial 2 days ago marked Lord Van Zeek's return to the courtroom after a very long hiatus. The trial of Magnus McGilden. Ugh, what a harrowing experience that was.
I believe that appearance made even greater waves here in the capital than today's. But we wouldn't have realized, of course, having just only arrived in the country. Why is the Reaper back in the Bailey so soon, for what appears to be a mundane murder? That's the question the papers are asking, and they are all speculating various answers.
Mundane? Mundane? It's the most significant saga of the century to some of us.
Oh dear, I meant no offense, Mr. Natsume, but that is how the papers are describing it.
Well, lest we also forget the fact that it could also spark an international incident. Obviously, the reappearance of this infamous prosecutor has caught people's attention. But there's another blatantly similarity with the trial of 2 days ago.
Yes, I agree.
Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. It's you!
Me? Well, I suppose that's true.
Both times, it is you who stands against this legendary prosecutor. It can only mean that you're friends with the Reaper.
Please. I don't rub shoulders with Deathbringers.
I'm afraid that there's really only one other explanation. It can only be another example, Mr. Naruhodo, of your uncommon bad luck.
Thanks for that.
Oh, this is just my luck. Why must I be represented by a man with such frail fortune? By the least lucky lawyer alive!
Well, let's not forget, that was you, Mr. Natsume, who asked me to represent you. Yes, it's true that I'm just a student, new to London, with little in the way of experience or skill, or luck. But I promise you this. I will fight your corner until the very end, and I will believe in you, Mr. Natsume.
Oh, benevolent locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire!
You're not alone here with us, Mr. Natsume. Whatever happens, we will always be on your side.
Oh, benevolent non-locum assistant, Miss Mikotoba Esquires! I'm in your debt forever! I shall never forget this great kindness for as long as I live!
Mr. Natsume! Counsel for the defense! The court in session is about to begin. Kindly make your way into the courtroom at once. Alright then, Mr. Natsume. It's time. Let's go.
Yes!
What was that? This is it. My second appearance in a British courtroom. And my second trial against the Reaper. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because this time, I won't let my faith waver. I'll believe in my client to the last. Just like you believed in me. I believe I can do this now. I'm ready for this fight. _20th February, 10 a.m. The Old Bailey Courtroom. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare the court to be in session. I now call upon the counsel for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is fully prepared, my lord. The defense is ready, my lord. The Nipponese are a truly fascinating breed. Sorry? What? Lord Strongheart has told me all about you. That you are a student who arrived in London but 2 days ago. A mere amateur. Do you have a point? Being a compatriot, you feel compelled to try to help the accused, I suppose. Typical Nipponese arrogance.
Forgive me, but I do not believe arrogance is an appropriate description.
Susawa-san.
After all, at a previous encounter, the defendant was found to be innocent.
Very true. And a most fascinating, if dark, trial it was, too. The tragic conclusion came later, of course. Here's to the acquitted, and to his unfortunate, violent end.
Thank you, counsels. I see both sides are in fine fettle. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you ready to carry out your duties here in court as impartial members of the public? You never know when you might be down on your luck, but I believe in fair play for everyone.
Well, I must warn you, I'm rather more ruthless than I appear.
Oh, well, not me. What you see is what you get. I'm a peace-loving fellow.
I'm afraid to say, I do think it's quite possible that mustached foreigner did the deed.
Come on! What are we waiting for? No doubt he did anyway.
Hey, sorry. Didn't quite catch that.
Very well, let's proceed. Your opening statements, if you please, Lord Ventix.
Very recently, Great Britain signed an alliance with a rising power in the Far East. The accused in the dock today is a student from that same land, a certain Mr. Soseki Natsume. And while our country has extended its foreign student the warmest of welcomes, regrettably, the kindness has not been returned. In fact, the student is accused of a most sinister act. The plunging a knife into the back of an innocent woman who was doing nothing but walking down the street.
A knife crime! I tell you from bitter experiences, those are the worst bloody oath they are.
Just look at that sallow complexion and short stature. He's one of those dreadful Japanese.
Come on, let's get this over with. With me now, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
Sorry, didn't quite catch that. Play. Forgive the discourtesy of smashing my hollow chalice here in this great chamber. Allow me to call the first witness to the stand.
Very well. Bailiff, lead the inspector in, please.
Your name and occupation, please.
Yes, sir. Tobias Rickson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard.
Would you please summarize the events of the case for the court, Inspector?
The victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green. I beg your pardon, Inspector. Thought to be? Yes, having been stabbed in the back by her attacker's knife, the victim fell unconscious. That was 3 days ago now, and she's been comatose ever since.
What? So I don't even know who she is for sure?
Comatose. I see. Her life is not in danger.
Fortunately for the Eastern student, the charge would not be murder. Play, elaborate on the details, Inspector.
Yes, sir. If I could ask everyone to look at this street map. As I mentioned, the incident took place 3 days ago, at around 5 in the afternoon. It happened on the pavement running alongside Briar Road, a wide thoroughfare for horse-drawn vehicles. It had not long since stopped snowing as the victim, Miss Green, was walking down the street. Out of the blue, she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed in the back. Luckily, the young lady's life was spared, and she's currently being treated in one of the city's hospitals. But being cautious as she is, we've been unable to take a statement from her, of course. This is the case file with everything we know about the victim so far. Thank you, Inspector. The court will accept the documents as evidence, if you please.
The case file has been entered into the court record. What of the weapon that was used?
Sir, I have that here. It was removed from the victim's back.
Ouch. That big thing is starting to make me scared to walk down the street now. With a heavy blade like that, almost anybody would have been able to stab the poor woman. Even the scragged-looking Soseki-san, I suppose.
A common or garden jackknife, I would say, rather nondescript. Thank you, Inspector. The court accepts the blade as evidence.
The jackknife has been entered into the court record.
Now then, what do we know of the motive? Money or valuables? I presume. From what we can tell by looking at the woman's persons, it seems like she's a poor student herself. Hard to imagine she would have anything much worth pinching, my lord. Oh, I see. Well, in that case, we are looking at some deep-seated resentment towards the victim. I'm afraid I couldn't say. Apart from visiting secondhand bookshops, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, doesn't appear to get out much. At this moment in time, we haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim.
Yes!
If the theft and grievance had been ruled out as a motive, what reason could Mr. Natsume possibly have had for stabbing the young woman? Yet you arrested the man in spite of that, in a totally unjustified and heavy-handed way.
Objection!
Oh! Play, forgive the discourtesy of flinging a fleshy uncorked bottle into the public gallery. But your words have soured its hallowed bouquet. For it is you, my learned friend, who is being heavy-handed here. What? Scotland Yard does not arrest people without good cause. That should be beyond question. Inspector Gregson, the prosecution calls for your formal testimony. Explain to the court precisely why the constabulary came to arrest the Nipponese student.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Natsume's arrest.
As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was an unusually light fog. Visibility was reasonably good, and there was no one else about but the victim and the accused. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind, and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. Those being a number of old books he just bought. He was on his way home from a bookshop, it seems. It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to, and we found the bloke to arrest them. Oh, books, you say? Yes, my lord. I have a photograph here of the scene of the crime, taken immediately after the incident.
Eesh.
Oh, yes, I can clearly see the books to which you are referring. I will take that photograph of print as evidence, please, Inspector.
A crime photograph has been entered into the courtroom record. A photograph of the scene taken by a policeman just after the incident occurred. A large knife can be seen thrust into the victim's back. You Nipponese are a spineless breed, too cowardly to admit defeat, denying everything despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Well, Forgive me, Lord Van Zieks, but the defendant is not denying everything as you put it. What are you doing, Mr. Sato?
Do go on.
Mr. Natsume has admitted to playing some part in the incident. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, now you mention it. When we visited him in the prison yesterday, he did tell us what had all happened. As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman, wearing a green overcoat she was, and just as I went to overtake her... She suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran, as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings.
A green overcoat.
Well, that's exactly what the woman in that print is wearing.
Oh my, a photograph print in full color. What will the world come up with next?
The defendant has done nothing more than admit he fled the scene of a terrifying incident. That does not mean he's guilty of the heinous crime of stabbing the woman in the back.
There was nobody else there at the time, just the two of them, the victim and the accused. In other words, there is nobody else who could possibly have stabbed the woman. A fact the accused concedes.
It seems this cross-examination could prove to be pivotal, counsel. Proceed, please.
Yes, my lord. Nothing for it. I have to use this cross-examination to turn the tables here. It's our only chance. Mr. Natsumi's arrest.
As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred. There was an unusually light fog.
What the hell do you mean by light? What do you mean by unusually? Light fog, you say?
Well, light for London. You can see the opposite side of the street for once. Not much farther, though.
That's light, is it?
Around these parts, yes. Not something I'd expect a Japanese fellow like yourself to know, of course.
I've read that London is famous for its fog. But in my country, people usually imagine that gives the city a rather beautiful appearance.
How quaint.
Yes, well, it's not something us Londoners tend to romanticize, as I expect you can appreciate.
I see.
At this time of year, the fog causes a large number of accidents, especially when it's heavy. Sometimes you can't even see your own hand at the end of your arm. Indeed. The other day, I was very nearly trampled by horses before I could see the carriage they were pulling.
Usasa and I should definitely remember to stop, look, and listen.
However, on the day that concerns us, the fog was somewhat lighter than usual. A fact no doubt lamented by the accused.
Visibility was really good, and there was no one else about but the victim and the accused.
Hold it! How are you able to state that with any certainty?
Quite simply, my learned friend, because that is what the witnesses to this crime have told us.
Yes. Inspector Gregson mentioned the witnesses yesterday, didn't he? That's right. One of them is a policeman, I believe, from Scotland Yard.
That's correct, ma'am.
Then we must hear their testimony.
The prosecution will, of course, call them to the stand, should it be necessary.
But, wait a minute. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon, in the middle of winter, it would have been dark already. No matter how light the fog might have been, no one could have seen.
I am unaware of the situation on your tiny island in the east. But here in the capital city of Great Britain, all the main roads are illuminated by in the night by gas street lamps.
Ah.
The prosecution believes there would have been ample light by which to witness the crime.
Right! Here in London, for the first time in history, mankind has completely conquered the darkness.
Which means we really need to hear those witness statements. If I could just get through the fog of this cross-examination, maybe we'll be able to.
It seems the counsel for the defense is taking stock. Continue with your testimony, Inspector.
Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement.
Hold it!
From behind, you say?
That's right, as you can see from this print. Yes, 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 quite so, Inspector. The handle of the weapon is clearly protruding from the victim's back. And you say this poor woman, Miss Green, remains in critical condition, comatose no less? I'm afraid so, my lord, yes. She's being treated at Bart's. I was hoping she'd come around before the trial started so I could take a statement, but it wasn't to be. Yes, that is indeed a pity. It would have been most illuminating to hear the victim's own accounts of events.
Luck is on your client's side, it seems. On the contrary, my client has been exceedingly unlucky. Your force of tone is seriously undermined by those disturbingly wide eyes, I'm afraid.
Ugh. The accuser ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor.
Hold it!
Mr. Natsume's belongings?
I think you'll find it's all there in the photographic print of the crime scene. Yes, the 3 books on the floor. That's right, my lord. Second-hand books they were. Irreparably damaged after falling in the snow, of course.
The accused could have easily carried all 3 books in one hand, which means his other hand would have been free to wield a knife, for example.
He's very clever, isn't he?
What do you mean?
He's made it extremely hard for you to assert that Mr. Natsume had his hands full with the books. He's managed to close the one avenue of escape we might have had before we even knew it was there.
You mean to say that the defendant was holding his belongings as he thrust the knife into the woman's back? That must be what happened, my lord. Yes. Those be a number of old books he just bought. He was on his way home from a bookshop, it seems.
Hold it!
The defendant apparently visits a second-hand bookshop on a daily basis.
Yes, so I understand. A shop full of old English literature.
I commend the accused on the lofty subject matter of his scholarly attention.
The bloke's room was stacked floor and ceiling with those musty old books.
Can you tell us more about the bookshop in question, please, Inspector?
Well, if I must, I'll have to ask you to look at the street map again, I'm afraid. The closest second-hand bookshop to the accused lodgings is this place here, Bourbon Books. A little place on the corner of Briar Road and Mearschum Street. As it happens, the accused is currently living in lodgings on the other side of the road of Briar Road at the opposite end. Which means it doesn't take a genius to work out the route he would have taken home. Something like this.
The local map information has been updated in the court record.
Yes, I concur with your conclusions, Inspector. The defendant would certainly have passed the scene of the crime on his way home from that particular shop.
Mr. Naruhodo, I think that what the inspector just told us could turn out to be of vital importance.
Yes, I agree. The most important point that the inspector just made being the bookshop location. The crucial detail in which you just told the court, Inspector, is the location of the bookshop.
I couldn't agree more.
So, where is it exactly?
Oh, you wind me up, sunshine! I just explained that! I got the map out and everything. Use red, blooming ink. I drew the book's route home on it for you. And I distinctly remember seeing you not along, Council.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. I must have been so nervous that I didn't take it in.
The blunder of the day goes to you, my learned friend.
No, not yet. The trial's only just begun, after all. Mr. Naruhodo, I would strongly advise you to look carefully through the court record at this stage. Yes, miss. At once, miss. I'm sorry. I made a mistake, miss.
Inspector, continue with your testimony, please.
It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to, and we found the bloke to arrest him.
Hold it!
You asked for the help of the famous detective Sherlock Holmes to locate the defendant, I believe.
Stuff and nonsense.
Sorry?
That jack in the office. That busybody just comes and sticks his oar in whether we like him or not. We ask him or not, well.
But according to what I have here, Mr. Sholmes was shown to the scene by Scotland Yard detectives.
Well, that has nothing to do with me. The lads at the scene must have done it without my permission.
Really?
I tell them time and time again, whenever something happens, send word to headquarters. And then follow your blooming instructions.
I see.
If that Miller gets his hands on any details, we'll all be reading in Rance magazine next month. And you can bet your last farthing that I'll be in there too, stripped of all my hard work on the case. Yes, Mr. Sholmes. No, Mr. Sholmes. Aren't you clever, Mr. Sholmes? That's all the thanks I'll be getting.
Inspector, if the man is proving detrimental to the yard's activities, perhaps I should step in and deal with him.
Ah!
It appears Inspector Gregson is lost for words. Yes, Rupert's words carry a lot of weight, obviously.
Anyway, the point is this. The little Japanese bloke's already admitted it. He admitted that the books all over the pavement at the scene were the ones he bought that day.
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? If you're unable to sway the jury during this cross-examination, I'm afraid that Mr. Natsumi's fate will be sealed. Yes, they're sure to find him guilty. So one way or another, I have to expose an undeniable inconsistency in the inspector's testimony.
Hold it!
So what was this? Why would the bookstop's name be... Why would the name be relevant anyway? So it must be stock. The bookshop stock. I often think, Inspector, that what really makes for a good bookshop is the quality of the books that they stock.
Yes, I think I'd agree with that.
For example, you go to a shop and buy a serialized set of novels. But when you return home, you find, to your horror, that the third volume is missing.
Doesn't bear thinking about. Just the sort of thing that really gets my goat.
Exactly! That is the point I was trying to make.
Well, now that you two have found common ground in that fascinating scenario, perhaps we might continue with the cross-examination. If you're quite finished, my learned Nipponese friend.
Yes! Wait, what just happened? What just happened, Mr. Naruhodo, was that you allowed yourself to be sidetracked. I would strongly advise you look carefully through the court record at this stage. Yes, miss. I was, miss. Sorry, I made a mistake, miss. Do we have the receipt from... Oh, I do. Well, I feel silly. He bought from your books.
Hold it!
The defendant, okay, that's on me. That's absolutely on me. The bookshop's name. Inspector Grayson, may I ask you a favor? What? Would you kindly add the name of the bookshop to your formal testimony, please? I believe it may be of vital importance. Maybe. Maybe. Oh, well, you know. I mean, yes. It could be a very important clue.
Very well. Not that I can see it being of any great significance. But please revise your testimony accordingly, Inspector. Yes, sir, my lord. Whatever you say.
Could the man be any more sardonic?
He was on his way home from McBurn Books, a second-hand bookshop he apparently patronizes.
Hold it!
So the shop is called Bourbon Books, is it?
That's right. That's the closest second-hand bookshop to the accused lodgings. And get there from back to his room, he would have to have gone right past the very spot where the incident took place.
If I could just confirm one point. Can we be sure that the defendant really did visit Bourbon Books on the day in question?
Well, we haven't actually confirmed it, no. You haven't confirmed it? Why the devil not, Inspector? Well, the thing is, the shopkeeper's gone on a trip, you see. Left the morning after the incident to collect more stock, I'm told. So we, haven't been able to ask the bloke if the accused visited his shop on the day in question or not.
Well, in that case, what did the defendant himself have to say about it?
No recollection.
What?
According to the statement he made at the time, the accused has no recollection of where he'd been. Of course he doesn't.
The bloke clearly has his head in the clouds whenever he's walking about town. He claims he just wanders into whatever bookshop he happens to be passing, and rarely knows his name. I should say the man ought to learn to look where he's going, at the very least.
So, it's just as I thought then.
Is something the matter? Inspector, please, you may continue your testimony.
Objection!
If I could just stop you there, Inspector Gregson.
Why is it sunshine? I'm a busy man, you know.
This is a receipt that we found in Mr. Natsumi's room. It was issued on the day of the incident, and it details the purchase of 3 secondhand books.
And you found that in the accused room, did you?
Yes, but the point is not where the receipt was found, but the name of the shop printed on it.
Go on.
This receipt was issued from a bookshop called Your Books.
Your books? Y-O-R-E, I presume.
Yes, my lord. Mr. Natsumi did indeed purchase a number of books at a second-hand bookshop that day. However, the bookshop in question was not Bourbon Books.
What? Inspector, do you know the bookshop? Yes, sir. Your Books is another second-hand bookshop not far from Bourbon Books. It's just that, well, it's such a small place, I didn't think the accused would have known about it.
Objection!
But in fact,
That is the bookshop which the defendant visited on the day in question. And this receipt proves it.
Objection!
Yes, for what difference it makes. Wherever the man purchases musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis.
Objection!
I disagree. I mean, after all,
I have a street map here. If that might be of help.
oh, yes, thank you. Actually, where it shows the address on, doesn't it? It does not. 2 shillings. Have a look at this, please. If the defendant had been returning from Bourbon Books, then yes, he would almost certainly have passed the place where Miss Green was attacked. However, if we take into account the fact that it was actually at another bookshop, your books, it may very well turn out that he wouldn't have passed that location at all. Could that be true?
My. It rather depends on where this other bookshop is, but I do declare it may be a possibility.
Is that right, Miss Laura, sir? What you just said? Absolutely. It absolutely could be right. Inspector Gregson, where is this your book establishment? Well, obviously we looked into that. It's just next door. It turns out that your books is just here on the next corner of Mere Chum Street, going east. The local maps information has been updated in court record. And there you have it. As you can clearly see now. Oh.
My learned Nipponese friend is obviously in training to be a clown, the way he regales us with such whimsical witticisms. To your future career in the circus.
You put that glass down now, or I'll put it down for you.
I, didn't think I needed to spell it out, but, here we are. Here we go. If the accused was coming home from your books instead of Bourbon Books, there's no doubt he still would have passed the place where the victim was stabbed. Yes! Yeah, thank you, Inspector.
Allow me to reiterate for my learned, if somewhat slow, Nipponese friend. Wherever the man purchases musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis. As I suspected, you can't fool me. I don't suggest you try.
What I say? I've had enough of this now.
Beg your pardon, terribly sorry, but would you mind repeating that?
Mr. Naruhodo, we mustn't give up.
What do you mean?
Its prosecution's assertion is correct. The members of the jury may very well decide that Mr. Natsumi is guilty.
Ah, she's absolutely right.
We must think. We must consider the assertion just put forward by the prosecution very, very carefully.
The claim Soseki-san must have passed the location of the incident on his way home from your books, but he can go the other way. I think it's like the same distance. The assertion just made by the prosecution is fundamentally flawed. Explain yourself, counsel. Yes, my lord. You can see what I mean on this map. When returning from your books to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume could have followed the route suggested by the prosecution. However, that isn't the only conceivable route to take between the two places.
If the defendant used these streets, look what happens. He arrives back at his lodgings without passing the location where the victim was attacked.
Objection!
Talking back to a clown is a fool's errand, of course. However, I feel compelled to point out that route is what is commonly referred to as the long way around.
Ah,
On a cold winter's night, why would any man choose to take a longer route home?
well,
The answer is extremely simple. He wouldn't. In other words, the accused took the obvious route back to his lodgings, and is the obvious perpetrator of this crime.
Objection!
But... Aha, yes, I've got it. Obviously, we must ask him himself. Ask Mr. Natsume which route he took home.
I have already informed the court of the accused's response to such questioning. He claims he has no recollection.
That's right. As I said, the bloke seems to spend his time outside wandering aimlessly from A to B. That day was no exception. He says he doesn't remember where he was or which route he took home.
I don't believe this.
I thank you, my learned friend, and suggest that we do not waste any more of the court's time by wandering aimlessly around the subject. Pray, what say you, insignificant, insightful jurors?
But even if that is the case, the defense still... Uh-oh.
I agree with Lord Van Zeeks wholeheartedly and in every way.
What? I don't believe it. Does this mean...
We, members of the jury, are completely convinced now. Very well. In that case, I hereby call upon all members of the jury to present your findings to the court.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty!
Oh.
Guilty!
It would appear that the jury's leaning is unanimous.
To the insightful members of the jury, I applaud your brave resolve. You serve Queen and country admirably.
Mr. Naruhodo. No, not yet. This isn't over yet. I still have one last chance to sway the opinion of the jury. I have to tip the balance of those scales the other way. I have to turn this around. Somehow.
Those are the eyes of Query, not yet willing to give up and die. So, I presume you intend to wield your rights again in this trial. Rights of the defense written into antiquated British law that should have been buried long ago.
Call it antiquated if you will. But it's the defense's prerogative to carry out a summation examinations if it so chooses.
Very well, counsel. In accordance with the letter of the law, we shall proceed with the summation examination. Are the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? Of course we're ready. I'm all too familiar with that Nipponese whippersnapper and his on-cuss refusal to throw in his alley. Very well then. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty.
The jurors' contentions.
For pity's sake, That little Nipponese already made himself, didn't he?
If he said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, I can. Why it can only have been the victim. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop. Not in winter.
So the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful.
Oh, yeah. Can't we just wrap this up now? I got work to be doing.
Your books, yes. Nice shop, that. But bourbon books? No, not worth it, is it?
With only minor exceptions, the reasons for finding the defendant guilty are all too clear.
When the stabbing occurred, the only two people at the scene were the victim and the accused. And the accused himself has admitted to seeing the victim in her green overcoat sink to the ground before his eyes.
Furthermore, we have heard from the inspector that the defendant then fled the scene. I must say, I would have ample grounds to convict this man already.
How dare! Even the judge appears convinced of Mr. Natsumi's guilt now.
Why did he have to run away like that?
And how are we supposed to believe in some phantom attacker that nobody could see? This is impossible. How can I possibly make a case for the defense? Mr. Naruhodo, this is no time for grumbling. If we want to force the trial to continue, yes, I know, I have to turn the tide. I must make the jurors change their minds.
Well, 4 of them at least.
Exactly. We have no choice but to forge forward.
You have the floor, counsel. Begin your summation examination.
Yes, my lord. I just need to keep this trial going somehow. Whatever it takes. Come on, Ryunosuke, you can do it.
The defense's rebuttal. For pity's sake, that little Nipponese already made it himself, didn't he?
Hold it!
Excuse me, bud. Aren't you...
Yes, that's right. I was in the witness stand myself just 2 days ago.
Yes, I had a feeling I knew your face. Or the side of it, anyways. If I remember correctly, you're a banker, aren't you?
That's right. After the gold rush down under, I came back to London to work. It was all going swimmingly until you started sticking around. Bruce Fairplay was a man of repute.
Sorry?
Don't think I've forgotten how you treated me the other day. You had me and that young hatter pegged as criminals.
Oh, well, you know, war on the bridge.
Now there's all sorts of rumors buzzing around, and the police have been badgering me non-stop.
If I could turn back the clock.
Well, anyway, I don't know about the hatter, but at least I'm in the clear now. And free to make up my own mind about who's guilty and who isn't.
Ah, thank goodness. Alright, maybe I might struggle to change this man's mind, given our awkward history. Oh dear, I wonder what's become of Mr. First now. If he said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, why, it can only have been the victim.
Hold it!
You're right that at the time of the incident, the defendant admits to have seen someone wearing a green overcoat walking ahead of him. Well, quite. That's precisely my point. Clearly, that someone wearing green was the victim. And clearly, that funny little Nipponese man with the disturbing mustache is the culprit. But let's not forget, madame, the defendant vehemently denies attacking the woman. Why, of course he does. If he admits to stabbing her, his life's over. The man is obviously a liver-faced coward, honestly claiming the woman simply collapsed before his eyes. But if that's the lie as you're suggesting, do you not think he would have concocted something more credible? Oh, I really couldn't say. After all, you are foreign. Who's to say what goes through your fine little minds? So racist! I'm glad they're going so racist in this translation.
I can tell what's going through your I can tell you what's going through my funny little mind right now, but you wouldn't like it.
I do declare the man has already made the admission. He himself has stated that there was nobody else around. Surely the conclusion is obvious. No one else could have possibly committed this awful crime. If no one else could have done it, the accused must be the man. Really? It couldn't be more simple.
Your argument is compelling in its simplicity, I must admit.
Oh my, you're too kind, my lord.
That went well for her. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop. No, Winter.
Hold it!
But you can't deny that there are other routes Mr. Natsume could have taken back from your books. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Like you drew on the map, you mean? What was it? Cabodash Road or something? Precisely. Well, it seems to me that what counts is whether the little Japanese fellow actually went that way or not. Well, yes, that's true. And at the moment, there's no proof that shows he did, is there? Well, yes, that's true as well. And as I understand it, the accused himself doesn't remember which way he went, does he? Well, yes, that's normally true. Winter nights are dark and cold. So the way I see it, you'd want to get home as quickly as possible. Well, yes. Why is all this true? So really, the only thing that makes sense is that he went home along Brow Road. I'm supposed to be convincing you here. I have given it a lot of thought, you know. I didn't just make up my mind on a whim like he did. I mean, if there was some logical reason why he might have gone the Calabash Road way, it'd be different. I'd be happy to reconsider my position in that case. Honest, I would. A reason why Suseki-san might have taken the longer way home.
Yes, a good reason. I don't imagine you'd be able to sway this young man's opinion without one.
So the one poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful.
Hold it!
Whatever's the matter, young man?
You're the wife of Mr. Garrison, aren't you? The landlord who rents Mr. Natsume's room? His room?
The master's wife? Where do you get your ideas, sir? I'm the maid. The maid, you understand?
She's keeping up that charade? Ugh, this is going to be awkward. Why did you mention this yesterday? That you've been selected for the jury in this trial, I mean?
Well, I was told not to mention it to anyone until the day of the trial, you see. It was in the letter I received. The instructions were very clear. So I'm afraid I had no choice.
I see. Anyway, Mr. Natsume, the defendant, takes lodging in your master's house, doesn't he?
Yes, that's right. Although he's only been in a little over a week now.
And in that time, surely he must have taken stock of his character. Does Mr. Natsume look like the kind of man who would commit a crime such as this?
Oh my goodness me, yes. He's just the sort.
What?
Spending all his time in that dark, dingy room, sporting that unscrupulous mustache. The man never speaks, and don't get me started on those shifty eyes. All the neighbors are talking about him. I've heard them, you know. People think he must be building a bomb in there or something.
Oh dear, poor Mr. Natsume. How could people say such things about him? He's just a harmless bookworm, nothing more.
Well, you just called him a worm, so. Anyway, I'd better be careful about inviting this maid to speak. She said enough damning things already. I really don't care. Can't we just wrap this up now? I got work to be doing.
Hold it!
A man's life is on the line here, sir. This will take as long as it takes. Don't get clever with me now, son. My life's on the line too, and so is my family's. Ah, The likes of you wouldn't understand, but a laborer like me can't afford to take time off. If I don't work, I don't eat, and neither do the wife and kids.
Oh, I see. That must be very hard.
I go to the union every morning and find out what needs doing. If you're late and the work's taken, it's tough. This time of year, there's water and gas supply pipes bursting left and right center. They're after cheap labor to get the roads dug up to fix it. It's a hard slog from dawn to dusk it is.
So, you were out digging up the roads on the day of the incident as well, were you?
That's right. In fact, if I remember rightly, it was just around the corner from where it all happened. By the old that old bookshop it was.
What? Another coincidence?
That's right. Mere chasm. Mere Chum Street. It was.
Meerchum Street. On the map, Mr. Hodo, there are only 3 street names. Name streets. Juror number 5. I need you to add that information to your formal statement, please.
What's the point in that? Can't we just get this business over with now?
Please, sir. It's important.
Fine, I'll do it then. On the day it happened, I was digging up Meerchum Street from dusk to dawn.
Objection!
Those 2 statements are clearly at odds with one another. Well, kinda.
At odds, counsel? Explain yourself!
Please, don't point. It wasn't me, I swear.
Yeah, what? I just want this done and dusted.
Well, juror number 3. Oh, me, sir. What do you mean? Juror number 5's words just now are extremely significant. Let's take a moment to consider the implications of what's been said on our map of the local area. On the day in question, Mr. Natsumi visited this bookshop to purchase a number of secondhand books. And on the same day, we now know that there was work being carried out on Meerchum Street, making it impassable. Which means that the defendant's route home could not have taken him along Meerchum Street and down Briar Road. Oh, yes, of course. What do you think, sir?
Well, yes. Can't argue with that, really, can you? We must have had a good 2 yards or more of the pavement up. Every gentleman and gentlewoman that came along had to turn back and go the other way.
So, the only conclusion is this. The defendant must have taken the longer route back to his lodgings. Yes, I suppose he must have.
I suppose that must be right, eh?
Juror number 3, you said the following. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop. But, we see now that he had no choice. Yes! My lord, Mr. Judge, sir, if I may.
Yes?
I don't think, in all good conscience, that I can say the man's guilty now. Yes, look, I'd like to see this trial continue so we can get to the bottom of what really happened. What about you, sir?
Who? Me? Well, alright then. If there's a hole in the prosecution's argument, it should be filled in. That's what I say.
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruto. That was wonderful. Well, we've managed to exchange a couple of minds at least. It strengthened our position somewhat. Yes, it will prompt the other members of the jury to reconsider their stance as well. They'll be asking themselves if their current leanings are really right or not. Now, if we could just identify one more clue or discrepancy that would make them stop doubting Mr. Natsume. we might be able to tip the balance completely.
Yes. That's exactly what we've got to do. Van Deeks is looking to bring this trial to an early conclusion. That's what we have to prevent, by whatever means we have at our disposal. Thank you, Counsel. On with the summation. Examination, please. Yes, my lord. I have to say not guilty at this point, so I can see where this trial goes from here. Whether it's dig up roads or dig up the truth, you've got to see it through to the end, haven't you?
Your books, yes. Nice shop, that. But Barbarian books? No, not worth a visit.
Hold it!
Sorry? Fold it, you say? Hold what?
No. What I said was hold it. What I wanted to ask was, do you visit your books often?
I like the old books they have in there, yes. I enjoy reading them over a nice cup of old tea. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about.
And at what time did you visit your books on the day in question?
Well, I was picking out books in there all afternoon, and it would have been just about 5 before I left. Just before 5 that I left. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about.
Just before 5, you say? Exactly when the victim was attacked. Are you sure about the time?
Oh yes, no mistake there. I remember it well. I'm not about to forget that day in a hurry, after the dreadful time I had.
What do you mean?
Well, I was walking down Calabash Road when I slipped on the ice and donked my head. It's always worse after the snow stopped falling. That's when it's most slippery. Knocked myself clean out, I did. I really thought my numbers up.
Wait a minute, let me get this straight. This happened on Calabash Road?
That's right. I lived in Cornpipe, you see. Heading down Calabash Road is the quickest way for me to get back from your books.
Juror number 6, I must insist that you add that information to your formal statement. It may very well be extremely insignificant.
Sorry? Extremely sick? No, I'm quite alright now.
You've changed 2 of the jurors' minds, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, just 2 more to go.
Deliver the finishing blow now. It's time to turn the tables here.
I wish I knew how to do a solid takedown. I suppose words will have to suffice for now. 4 base 6. That little Nipponese already admitted himself, didn't he? Pit juror number 2 against juror number 6.
Objection!
Those 2 statements clearly show a flaw in the juror's reasoning. A flaw? What are you talking about, Counsel? Well, juror number 2? Juror number 6?
Ma, whatever do you mean, sir? I think perhaps the old man didn't hear you.
Unbelievable. It's not like I was loud or anything. There is at least one fact of which we can be sure here. Bookshop receipt we found in the defendant's room clearly indicates that on the day of the attack, he had been to your books and purchased a number of second-hand titles. He then returned home on foot.
But the man says he has no recollection of his return journey.
That's correct. But what he does remember is seeing someone appear in front of him on the way. Someone in a green overcoat who suddenly collapsed on the pavement before his eyes.
Yes, we are well aware of all of this. The poor young woman who was stabbed, obviously.
Objection!
Can we really be sure of that, madame?
Ma, whatever do you mean?
I'm sure you heard juror number 6's account of what happened to him that day. That same afternoon, there was somebody else apart from the victim, who was wearing a green overcoat and who fell over on the icy streets in the neighborhood.
Oh my. My goodness, you mean...
That's right. I'm referring, of course, to hard of hearing juror number 6.
Are you really suggesting that the person in the green overcoat whom the defendant saw collapse in front of his eyes was the jolly old gentleman on the end of the bench here with me today?
That is entirely possible, yes. After all, the old man has a somewhat similar build to the victim. Well, would you look at that?
Oh, my goodness me. Sorry, you need me to pee? You need a pee?
And crucially, we know precisely where the old man in the green overcoat fell.
On Calabash Road.
Therefore, if the person who Mr. Natsume saw collapsing in front of him was in fact juror number 6, it means the defendant must have taken the long route back to his lodgings. And if that is true, then clearly the crime scene on Briar Road where the woman was stabbed was not on his way home.
Oh my.
You idiot! Old man! If you hadn't been so daft as to be roaming out there, we would have boxed this off hours ago.
And really, what were you thinking wearing such a befuddling coat? What do you say to me? Is it a crime for the elderly who walk the streets these days? Is it a crime to slip over on ice? Is it a crime to keep off the latest styles and wear a beautiful green overcoat? Is it?
My lord, I do hope it won't cause any inconvenience, but...
You would like to change your leaning, I presume?
I do declare that I would. I should like to call for a verdict of not guilty.
Thank you.
And I would too.
What?
Is it a crime to change your mind? Is it? Well...
Well, that submission examination has concluded with a rather large shift in opinion. The eyes 2, the nose 4. So the nose have it. Not guilty, they say. Which means we no longer have a consensus among the members of the jury. The trial will continue.
Objection!
Could it seem churlish of me to drink from my hollow chalice moments after raising an objection, only to crush it in disgust? Pray forgive the discourtesy.
Lord Van Beeks?
It seems I must retract my earlier remark.
What do you mean?
I mistakenly credited these jurors with intelligence by describing them as insightful. Yet we have just witnessed them falling for a cheap trick performed by an Eastern entertainer.
Whatever do you mean?
Objection!
I haven't tricked anyone. Everything I've said is the truth.
Indeed, stalwart juror number 5 was undoubtedly preparing the road, as he claims. I believe you said it was a good 2 yards of the pavement which you had excavated, sir.
That's right. Took me the whole day and they paid me a measly tuppence for it.
Now, my learned Nipponese friend, tell me, do you have any notion of the distance that 2 yards represents?
Well, if I'm honest, I don't have a clue, no.
2 yards is a little less than 2 meters.
Less than 2 meters? That's not much at all.
In other words, a distance readily vaulted by anyone of moderate vigor.
That's not really possible? I would fall midway.
Would you not agree, my stalwart friend?
Me? Well, I can't say you're wrong. No.
What? And did you perchance erect a sign to prevent pedestrians from passing the site of your works?
I wouldn't dream of it. Well, waste of time.
Well, thank you, OSHA.
No coaches would have had a hope of passing anyway. We just turned angry gentlefolk back when it came. Kids just jump right over us all the time.
The accused is no gentleman, as far as I can see. I have little doubt, however, that he could spring over a 2-yard trench in his meanderings around town.
Ah!
Is that true? Is it? The incontrovertible truth is that the books just purchased by the accused were found at the scene. There can be no doubt that on his way back to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume walked down Briar Road.
Crushed in a single sentence.
And old man. Go, old man! You can talk! You say that at around 5 o'clock on the day in question, you slipped and fell on Calabash Road. Pray, was there a suspicious looking Nipponese behind you at the time? Oh, I can't say as I remember.
You don't remember?
How about a wager, my learned friend? You say it was this old man that the accused saw, but I would lay 1,000 to 1 against you being able to prove it.
Ah! Order! Order! Lord Van Deeks, explain yourself.
My lord,
You had such a trenchant argument up your sleeve. Why in the world did you not proffer it during the examination?
I wanted to give this young foreign student the sightseeing experience he no doubt came for. I wanted him to see for himself how the opinion of the jury is so readily swayed. But my hospitality has its limits. And they have been reached, I fear. So, my learned friend, today's sightseeing tour of London is now over.
What are you talking about?
My lord, the prosecution requests permission to call its next witnesses to the stand.
Granted! Bailiff, bring forth the witnesses!
Its next witnesses? Mr. Naruhodo, do you not remember? We've been told on several occasions that there were eyewitnesses to the incident.
Yes, I remember. One of them being a Scotland Yard policeman, no less.
I'm afraid that's likely to be the prosecution's next witness.
Alright. No matter who Van Zeeks brings to the stand as his witnesses, and no matter what they say, I believe in Soseki-san. I know he's innocent. And I'll keep believing to the very end, until this battle is over.
Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court.
Constable Roy Beat, sir! Nothing to report on the street, sir! And I'm Miss B. Patricia's my name. I'm proud to say I'm this young town hero's wife.
What's the story here?
Well, in truth, we've not been married long. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day.
No.
it was your husband I was asking about. He seems tired.
Hardly surprising. Whilst being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world.
Oh, really? I'm sure I've heard that before, actually.
Indeed. Apart from rare days off, our gallant officers trudge some 20 miles a day, you know. They patrol boarding houses and pubs and collect taxes, survey the streets, check the meters are reading true, and they're responsible for keeping the streets clean, and lighting and extinguishing our street lights.
There are a number of items on that list that don't sound much like policing duties at all. I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet. I'd be collapsed long ago.
But it goes without saying that a policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat. For the London Bobby is a man of honor.
And a man of slumber.
On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Rye Road in the opposite direction, and they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beat?
That's right, sir. Isn't it really?
Constable Raw Beat, sir! Nothing to report on the streets, sir!
What a great witness he's going to be.
Very good. I'd like to hear your formal testimonies now, please. You will tell the court exactly what you saw on the afternoon of the incident. Yes, sir! Witness testimony. What was it saw?
It was a wedding anniversary, and Roy was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor. Then the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over, of course, and then went for help at a nearby police box. It was definitely that Japanese man on the dock. Roy and I both saw him as clear as day.
Well, this is extremely compelling. This is extremely compelling testimony, I must say.
How dare. This policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsume at the scene. If their testimony is true, the alternative course of events that you established in the summation examination will be quashed.
It's death knell, in fact, because that alternative was never viable in the first place.
What an unfortunate but chancing. And on your wedding anniversary, too.
Oh, I know. But I still managed to go out for the evening with my man. I thank the Lord for that. Gosh, the life of a London Bobby sounds very hard indeed.
Indeed. However, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may very well have time to rest this afternoon.
What do you mean by that?
My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was without doubt the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less. So you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure.
Except that man is so tired his wife has to do all the talking.
Enough preamble. Counsel for the defense, commence the cross-examination, please.
Yes, my lord. It was our wedding anniversary, and Roy Roily was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work.
Hold it!
No time to change after work, you say? Are you also a member of the police, Miss Beat?
Oh no, sadly not. It's a job for strapping young men only. Women, children, and the elderly can't even apply.
Well, I think you can probably see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can't you?
I think Roily looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It suits you down the ground, doesn't it, darling? Huh, what? Ah, I just finished my beat. Pat and I we're heading back to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there.
Is he talking to in his sleep? This is creepy.
Oh no, Roily. I much prefer you in uniform. Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes. Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy.
Kindly adhere to the point. You're going for a meal after you had finished your beat for the day, correct?
That's right, sir. Yes, although I was fit to drop, to be honest, after spending the whole day on my feet. I put police in my life, sir. As long as I'm the proud owner of this, I'll serve my city and my queen to the end.
What's that now?
My warrant card, sir. Proof that I'm a London copper. It has the noble founding principle of the 4's on it as a reminder to all of us policemen of our sworn duty to patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. Sir! And for such a noble cause, I cover 20 miles every single day without fail and without a grumble. Because I know that the plodding of my boots is all Londoners need to hear to feel safe and secure.
So, violent crime doesn't appear to come into it then.
But sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beat puts up with a lot being married to a Bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care.
Aw, that's cute.
Oh, Pat. Oh, Roily. Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold.
If a little over the top, perhaps.
And then, can you describe what happened next? Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us.
Hold it!
2 silhouettes?
That's right. They were coming towards us, walking up Briar Road in the opposite direction. There was a rather plump figure followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man. That does sound exactly like the victim as pictured in this print, and like Mr. Natsume.
Yes, unfortunately, it does. And just certain at that time, there was nobody else nearby.
Oh yes, quite certain. It was dark, but there are streetlights on Briar Road, you see. There was nobody else around at all. Isn't that right, my darling? What? Ah, yes, that's right. Of course, there was a light fog on the ground. But Briar Road is dead straight, and you can see fairly long way down the pavement. And there's the street line as well. I didn't see any other pedestrians.
Before sleep takes firm hold, your answer please, Mr. Beat. Are you quite sure of what you said?
Yes, sir. As a copper who spends all day, every day keeping watch on the streets, I swear to it, sir. I'm as sure as my love for Patricia is true. Oh, Pat. Oh, Roily.
They still maintain there was no one else around other than the victim and the attacker. It's starting to seem like that must be how it really happened.
It's beginning to seem like there's nowhere to run.
Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsumi, did it? He fled the scene all too convincingly. Thank you. I believe we have a reasonably clear idea of the situation just before the incident now. What happened in the crucial moments that followed?
All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor. Then the other scattered something before running off.
Hold it!
Scared something? What do you mean by that?
Oh well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time. But when we got closer, we realized what it was. Didn't we, darling?
What? Oh, yes, that's right. It was some old books. I see. Old books. Yes, sir! The culprit had dropped a number of them, all around where the victim lay on the pavement. Indeed, as clearly pictured in this photographic print.
That rotten Japanese man did that when he did the deed.
Hold it!
Let's not forget that remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker. But we saw him! It was the man in the dock without question, sir. The mustache, the hunched back, the cat-like eyes, the top mouth, the snub nose. Everything! Any more insults you want to throw in?
That's right. He looked down at that poor defenseless woman with those terrifying, intense eyes, and then suddenly threw his books onto the pavement and ran away.
I see. This is tough. It seems as though they're telling the truth here. May I remind the court that this unambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife. Now please, continue.
Yes, sir! We ran straight over, of course, and then went for help at a nearby police box.
Hold it!
Was it your husband who went to fetch help?
No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I am a proud wife of one, after all. Isn't that right, my darling?
Huh? What? Oh, yeah, that's right. I asked Miss Pete to go. I was off duty by that point. Well, Bobby's never truly off duty, of course, so I felt obliged to stay and guard the scene. Very laudable, Mr. Beat. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance. That's why I sent Patricia, you see. I told her where to find the right police box. Forgive my ignorance, but what do you mean exactly by the right police box? Depends on the crimes we're policing, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't actually on my beat. So I told Patricia the way to the police box for the beat the incident fell under, so she could go and report it.
I ran there as quickly as I could and asked for help from the Bobby on duty. There's nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know?
And thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of two model citizens.
Oh, please, you're making me blush, isn't he, darling?
Yes, sir. What Patricia says, sir. Let's move on, shall we? Alright, I'm gonna call it a night there. I did not realize it's already 11. Yeah. Alright, we'll call it a night there. We'll continue on next time. I'm having a real hard time trying to build a case for Mr. Natsumi here. It's trying to really seem like it's carbon monoxide poisoning, and he just stabbed the woman in his fugue state. But who knows? It seems like a lot of mysterious disappearing stabbers. This might be like Jack the Ripper. So until then, thank everyone who joined me today, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye!